This is Aaron Levine with another episode of the And Insurance Podcast, where we talk about business with small business, mid-sized business owners, and kind of find ways to tie insurance in to be able to help anybody out there in the business community, whether it be in your personal life or in your business life. We just try to find ways to give a little bit back. So today I have with me Eric Cohen from Merchant Advocate, right? Did I get the name right?
You did. Yep.
All right. So Eric is a local business owner, formerly of Colts Neck, still of Colts Neck, moved to Rumson, Red Bank, wherever the office is today. I guess we all live in a virtual world now, so it doesn't really matter. Eric and I had been talking about business, and I had been able to send some referrals Eric's way to be able to help other business owners. So I kind of wanted to bring you in today and, share with anybody who cares to listen to us or watch this podcast on YouTube. What is Merchant Advocate? What do you do? Who are you? Tell me a story right now, and let's see how we can help some other people out.
Sure. So Merchant Advocate's in the credit card processing business, but as you're listening to this, if you hear those words, don't shut off yet. We are not a credit card processor, right? So a lot of times people say, hey, credit card processing, and they run for the hills. They don't want to hear it. It's full of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of fees that no one really understands.
Right.
And, years ago, before Merchant Advocate, I was a sales office for a processor, meaning that I would come into your organization, or I'd have hundreds of people in your organization or outselling, and we would say, switch to us, we're better, we're cheaper, we're faster. And if you're a business owner, you've heard this over and over and over and over again. I mean,
same thing with insurance. Part of people out there on the street selling insurance is, hey, we can make it cheaper, but there's only a bottom so far low until something really gets screwed up.
Right. And then when you do switch, the rates go right back up. So just because you sign a contract doesn't mean the rates stay, which is kind of crazy. But, so I believed in low rates and great customer service, and I built up a nice organization, 1,000 sales reps around the country. And something didn't sit well with me. Right. And that is taking care of the business owner. So I saw I would move someone over, and I didn't have full control of the rates because I wasn't Visa, MasterCard, the processor, the banks. And I just didn't believe in the ethics of the industry. Okay. And I took some time off. And when I thought about things, I said, there's a better way of working with businesses, whether it's a small mom and pop all the way up to the largest companies. We figured, why not allow them to stay with their processor? Right. So if you walk into a business owner and you say, how many times has someone said, switch to me, I'm better?
Right.
They're going to say, every week someone's coming in.
Right.
If you say to them, you know what? How many times has someone come in and said, stay with your credit card processor and we're going to help you save money?
Sounds like a no-brainer.
They're going to look at you like three heads. Right. And that's where this started. I walked into a small little business here in Shrewsbury, who's probably still here 15 years later. And I looked at the owner and I said, how about you don't change your credit card processor? Let me optimize it. Let me reduce the fees. And it's not just a rate. Everyone thinks this is a rate game.
Right.
It's how you're set up, how the coding works. There's 100 different ways to price a merchant account. And she looked at me. She goes, what do you mean? I go, let me use my expertise.
Right.
Let me negotiate. Let me optimize it. And all I'm asking is, if I save you $1, share 50 cents with me.
It's fair.
Found money.
Right.
And then I'm going to watch it every month. So when I catch them increasing rates again, I'm going to bring them back down.
Okay.
And this happens 3, 4, 5 times a year.
So if we're signing, the merchant is signing a merchant agreement, a contract with a processing company. And on that contract, I assume that there's a description of rates and fees in there somewhere. I'm sure this print is very, very small, hard to read. Nobody ever reads it.
Right.
But what kind of things are locked into that contract, and how do you get around them? Or is that part of the secret sauce?
That's not really part of the secret sauce, but I will share something with you.
Okay.
So when you sign an agreement, the last page is a confirmation page.
Okay.
And you have to sign something that says, I've read the terms and conditions at this link. No, not on paper, but at this link.
Wow.
The links either don't work, and people are signing it anyway.
Right.
Or when you press on the link, there's 75 pages of terms and conditions.
Okay.
In the fine print, it says, as long as your processor sends an email or a statement message, which you don't read because you don't understand the statements.
Right.
they could add whatever fee at any time, no matter what.
That's incredible.
So if Eric needs a new car,
Right.
I could actually, if I was a processor, say Eric needs a new car, 0.5% more. Right now, it's a little ridiculous, but there's made up fees left and right, and they're made up in a way that it appears to be a real fee.
Right.
And that's where we come in. And people go, Eric, you can negotiate rates. That's fine. Why do I need to continue to have your service? Right. Why do you have a 3-year agreement?
Right.
Which is kind of funny because most of our clients stay well beyond the initial term.
Sure.
Because 3 to 4 times a year, we're catching a new fee. We're catching maybe a non-compliance fee, $100 a month or $200 a month. That's a couple $1,000s. And that fee, that's just, you didn't answer a survey.
Okay.
It's payment card industry compliance, right? So, I kind of think about as processing almost a license to steal.
Okay.
Because you don't get the statement in the mail. You don't go online usually to get them.
Right.
And if you ever look at a cell phone bill?
Not in years, but I have.
And do you understand any of it?
No.
No. Take your cell phone bill, multiply that by 10 times the level of complication.
Right.
And that's merchant services.
That's awesome. So I recently had a guest on here who was from the payroll business, from payment processing company. One of the things that I said was, to any business out there, look at your invoices, look at what you're paying, because even on that side, not as complicated as what you're doing, but some of these payroll companies, they'll add fees, they'll add fees, they'll add fees.
Absolutely.
And you never know what you're paying for, how much you're paying, and how long you're going to be paying it for. One of the things with working with me is we're going to help find ways to get rid of that, and then working with you is another one of those solutions for business owners to help avoid paying those erroneous, extraordinary fees that can get put on there that nobody looks at because we're all too lazy to look at our invoices. I'm too lazy to look at my invoice, but I'm not too lazy to hire a professional to do it for me and have no problem paying somebody else to do my work for me, as long as I either save money, make money, or make my processes in my life much easier.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we all hire accountants because we don't do our own taxes. We all hire attorneys because we don't have legal experience. The most important thing in your business is revenue coming in.
Right.
Without revenue, you have no business.
Sure.
Who's protecting your revenue?
Right.
95% of revenue today in most businesses are credit card, right? Very few people carry cash.
Sure.
95% plus is credit cards. So if revenue is your most important aspect and no one's watching it, that's an expert. And it's not like we're an attorney where we're charging hourly. We're not charging flat rates. We're not charging you. In fact, we even do an analysis at no cost. You don't have to sign an agreement.
It's great.
Send us your statement. We'll look at it. If you need us, meaning I could save you more than $1,000 a year, sign an agreement.
Right.
If you don't need us, I'm going to tell you, you don't need us. You have great rates and great setup.
Right. So who are good business, like small, how small is too small? What size businesses are good for you? What size business should really start looking at this? Like, at what point do your credit card fees then, I guess, become overwhelming, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, that's a good question. So I look at 3 different buckets, right?
Okay.
I have small and mom and pop. To me, that's someone doing $20,000 to $25,000 a month in credit card volume.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to tell you, listen, if you do under $20,000, I'm not going to say to you, I'm not going to look.
Right.
But the chances are we're not going to save you much, because even a point on that is not that much money, right?
Okay.
If you're doing, $10,000 a month, you should probably be with Square or something like that anyway, because you're not doing a lot of volume. Now, I will tell you, I have accounts as small as $10,000 a month. They were getting charged 6%, and I was able to help them.
Wow.
But generally speaking, that mom and pop is $20,000 to, I don't know, $2 million a year in credit card billing.
Okay.
They all need us, right? Especially if they're tied into a system. For example, a restaurant system that has the touch screens, or your medical and you have a EMR system. The reason those guys need us is those systems lock you into specific processors.
Oh, okay.
You can only use one processor.
Right.
Well,
I've seen that.
You're handcuffed.
Right.
The rates go up. What do you do about it? Right. The second bucket would be 2 million to, let's say, 200 million. Right. Sure. Owner's still there. They still care about the money. Those businesses are fantastic. And then obviously we have the enterprise level, which is much, much larger. And you would think that they have whole teams that know about this.
Right.
Okay. We've had a client.
You think that at that level, they're negotiating directly with Visa and MasterCard.
Well, you can't.
Okay.
You can if you're doing hundreds and hundreds of millions.
Right.
But you always have a processor there.
Okay.
Right. So we just had a company, for example, large enterprise company, $100 million. They had the best rates in the world. But when they sent the transaction through the system, they were missing some data and some flags. It's not where everyone thinks, hey, you put a credit card number in,
right,
expiration date, and you hit send. There's ways to reduce the costs by adding more data to the transactions.
Oh, so there's rates and then there's transaction fees.
Correct.
Right. So the rate is the rate, but then to get to the companies, there's that intermediary, which is a different fee.
Well, it's a different rate. So
rate. Okay.
This is how crazy it is. If you're a business and I'm a business and I pay you with my business credit card and I call you up and you say, Eric, it's $1,000. Oh, great. I'm putting on my business card. There's 4 different rates attached to my business card.
So should I feel bad using certain like credit cards that are costing merchants more money? Like,
I mean, ultimately it's a cost to do a business, but what's kind of segueing into that, and we talked about this earlier, is you're now seeing this surcharge or cash discount. The word cash discount is really a surcharge. It's a play on how they're marketing.
Everything is how we market and phrase it, right? It's all about saying it appropriately. And a cash discount sounds a heck of a lot better than, hey, you want to use your credit card to eat dinner here? We're going to charge you more, right?
Right.
But again, who's carrying cash? Make me stop at the bank just to, and then you're going to trust a server to make proper change. Nobody knows how to do math anymore. The restaurants are going to start carrying cash and have a registered drawer to make change on thousands of dollars and have to trust somebody to go to the bank. They're going to lose because these low-level employees wind up stealing money also.
Absolutely.
And you're going to lose more out the back door at the end of the day to start bringing in more cash. But that's another PSA for another day.
Right. And, whether someone is going to do cash discount or someone wants processing or set up, we're completely agnostic, right? We don't care where anyone processes.
Right.
Our job is, are you paying the least amount you can?
Right.
Or is the sales rep, and this is what you have to remember, the sales rep that came in to sign your business up, most of them will make a piece of every transaction. See, that's what intrigued me about being in the business. I, years ago, said, if I could get into a business where I can make a residual income, right?
Sure.
And get a piece of every transaction,
right?
I don't have to work after I put on 100 accounts, right? Well, there's no regulation in Visa MasterCard's world, which on the processing side, which means the sales rep that came in makes more when they charge you more.
Right.
Or, I mean, this is the best. I hear all the time, my friend's my processor. I said, well, 90% chance you're getting overcharged.
What kind of car does your friend drive, right?
Right. So there is a very well-known Italian specialty deli somewhere in New Jersey. Like, I don't want to use names, but, we went into him and he goes, listen, my friend, saved me $5,000 a year. And I moved to him. I said, great. You still need my help. Now, he signed my agreement. I said, by the way, your friend is making $20,000 a month off your back. For putting a credit card terminal there. $20,000. Wow. Now, they do about $1.5 million a month. It's a $10 million business, but the rep didn't do anything. And when you do that math, it turns out that every day that store opened, the first $1,200 in sales and the profit that went along with that went to the sales rep that signed up the credit card machine. Wow. And people don't think like that. They go, wow, I'm just going to sign up. I'm going to spend 2.5 or 3. Okay, well, who signed you up?
Right.
How much are they making? And if they have an incentive to make more by charging you more, you got to watch out.
So how do we educate business owners, whether they're mom and pop small or moving up in the, the 10 to $50 million range? How do we get them educated, right, with respect to understanding and knowing what a good deal is, what not a good deal is? Like, if I want to say, hey, Eric, I'm about to sign a new credit card deal. I want to hire you as a consultant. Right. That's still the same thing. It's hiring you on, making sure we have the right contract to get started with, and then working out a deal to maintain the monitoring service on that. Because that's pretty cool that, you're not saying, give me 50 cents today. You're saying you're going to give me 50 cents tomorrow also, but when they charge you $1.50, you're getting that dollar back. I'm taking the 50.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, if it's a brand new business,
Right.
doesn't accept credit cards, I just put them with a preferred processor, someone that I'm friendly with.
Okay.
And if they want me to monitor it, I'll charge them a flat rate, right?
Okay.
Or I'll just put them with someone I trust,
Right.
And then they don't need me. It's a courtesy, right? What I've learned in business is you don't have to make money on every relationship.
True.
The ones I've taken care of without making money gave me 10 referrals.
Right.
And that's how you build a network, right? But how do you educate them? You hire someone like us, right? And, not really joking around, but there's no one else really that's doing this.
Right.
Or you hire someone, $100,000 salary that knows merchant services, because that's what it's going to cost for someone, and you bring them inside.
Okay.
Well, to me, it makes sense to outsource it on a contingency basis.
Outsource everything.
Right? I mean, we make money if we share savings. That's all it is. So it's found money.
I remember the first time I heard about, what you're doing, and I was just like intrigued from day one, because I'm like, there's so much opportunity out there for me to even refer business to you as I do to payroll and accountants and anybody else in my network. That is just a tremendous opportunity to find alternate ways of helping other people. But as we're sitting here in Wrecked Productions, it sounds like you have so many, different cool video ideas to put out into the YouTube space. Get your YouTube channel up and running. I can see the wheels spinning in your head right now. How do people get in touch with you?
So the best thing is just info@merchantadvocate.com. And here's the thing, there's no S's, it's merchantadvocate.com.
Right.
Okay. So if you send it to info, you put podcast, heard him on a podcast.
There's no 10% discount for, mentioning my name, but we'll work on something.
Right. If you put that, if you put that little thing in there, there's a 10%. So what I can tell you is this, as the CEO, I handle a lot of sales. My day is sales all day long. So if you are listening to this, you reach out to us, I'll be involved with one of my top sales reps.
Great.
Right. But again, it's no obligation. We look at a statement, right? If there's money, great. And I know you referred a client over, multi-location restaurant, smart people. I mean, brilliant, these guys.
Sure.
We still found, and they were with a friend. And I will tell you, the friend really did take care of them on 9 out of 10 line items.
Okay.
It was the 10th that was 0.5% too high. Tens of thousands of dollars.
But everybody's allowed to make money.
Of course.
Right. So there's got to be a line in the sand, I guess, at some point where the negotiation comes to a head.
The processors need to make money, right? Otherwise, they won't talk to us. They won't talk to merchants.
Right.
But how much do they need to make?
Okay.
If you think about it, right? If it's not a high risk business, right? If it's not, some crazy business that has a lot of risk to it.
Right.
You put a machine in. When do you hear from your sales rep ever again? Sure. Never. They never come back. Maybe you have 2 or 3 customer service calls.
Right.
So should you be paying 1% over the cost? Should you be paying 0.1%? What is that number now?
So you help negotiate that depending on, right? You're not negotiating the same deal for everybody.
No. Nope.
Right? Everybody's going to fit where they're going to fit. And you're the middleman that's going to make it fair for all parties.
Right. Now, if a processor doesn't want to negotiate or a sales rep doesn't want to negotiate, we have preferred processors and relationships. I've been doing this 25 years. I'll just bring you to a friend of mine. Right. And that happens where we go in and we say, listen, there's $1,000 a month. We call the processor. They say, yeah, we'll save you $200 a month. Go back to the business owner and go, they're keeping $800 a month. Right. And the business owner half the time says, I'm out. I have no relationship. Sure. I don't care. Now, if they're with their bank, a lot of our customers that are with their bank, they don't want us to. They're afraid to work with us. Right. They don't want to ruin a bank relationship. Right.
Right.
Well, we put on our white gloves. If it's a bank relationship, I'm going to be okay with the bank keeping a little bit more profit because there's services, there's other things going on. So you're right. I don't negotiate the same deal across the board. Sure. Depending on the type of business, the processor, the system they're in, the volume, there's multiple things that go into, where are we going to ask for this to be priced? Right. Because you're right. Your comment was everyone needs to make money. Yes, they just don't need to make more than they should be making.
I'll go into certain accounts and we'll go fee-based as opposed to commission-based. because if there's an account where the revenue commission could be 50,000, but we feel it could be more fair to fee it out at 25 or 30,000 based on our services that we're going to provide, we can do that too and pass the savings along to the insured. We don't have to rake everybody over and make full boat on everything if it doesn't make sense. If there's an opportunity to do something different, we can also charge higher fees based on what we need to do for that specific insured. So it's the same thing, fee-based has to be fair for all parties. All parties need to be in it to make money, save money, or streamline their businesses some way along there. So I think it's super important to be able to negotiate a fair deal, and we can all make plenty of money making fair deals out there.
Yep.
Anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, Aaron, that really covers most of it, right? This is a no-brainer. This is one of those, let's get you checked out, right? So they can reach us at, again, info@Merchant Advocate.
Perfect.
And, anyone listening to this, I know your business, you take care of merchants and business owners. There's accounts we'll refer to Aaron as well, because he has the same philosophy, getting to know him, of take care of your customer.
Sure.
Make sure you're not overcharging. And really, that's why this relationship and everything we talk about makes so much sense, because when you have people in the same philosophy, you could help that many more businesses.
I just, I have a big call on Friday with a large manufacturer. And I'm like, I wonder if they take card, because I bet you they do. Their net terms, sometimes they're going to take cards, sometimes they're going to pass a fee, sometimes they're not, but how much are they taking in? And what can we do to help them out? And maybe they can pass some of that savings along to their customers too. There's so many different cool ways, and my wheels are turning. So thank you, Eric Cohen from Merchant Advocate. I appreciate your time. It's great to spend it with you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right.